Hello, name's Anna and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. This week, I got something quite nice for you. Yet again, similarly to last week, I got a build that I've already played before in Boss Rush, and I absolutely fucking loved it. In fact, it shot up all the ranks to the highest of ranks, to the very top. My absolute favorite builds to play on this game. I have not yet played it, again, similarly to last week's build, in Chaos Trials. So far, this is a first, the one and only, and I'm very much looking forward to trying it out. So let's get right into it, shall we? Today's build is called Lock Them Up. This is a prison guard themed build. We are essentially treating our enemies like absolute dirt, like the absolute dirt they are, with the treatment that they deserve. Let's get right into it. For our robe, we will be using the Venture robe because it makes us look very evil. It decreases our max health, which is fine, we don't care much about that. I don't intend to be hit very much. It increases our damage, run speed and cooldowns alike by 10%, which is fantastic. A little bit of everything. We can very much use all of these stats very well, especially the cooldown reduction. That is gonna be absolutely fantastic, as you're gonna see in a minute. For our starting rally, we're gonna be using the offensive. Where is it? Where's it located? It's right here. The Captain's Ring. Bit of a weird pick, but since we're gonna be using 4 different elements, one of which is Chaos, which you can't find in a regular run until you loop, well, this is a bit of a freebie. A lot of extra damage. It kind of fits the theme that we are a rich piece of shit, trampling all over the peasants we keep in our prison, torturing day in, day out. So that's nice. It increases our damage dealt for each different element we have by seemingly 3% per element, so it's 12% right off the get-go, which is nice. That's a lot of damage increase. And now let's get into the nitty-gritty, shall we? The abilities. For our basic, we got Chaos Crusher to crush the will of our foes. Sweet. Very, very fun Chaos Arcana. It is both a projectile and a melee arcana. It can be enhanced with pretty much any and everything. It goes with a ham sandwich. It is absolutely fantastic. It has 2 parts to it. A melee part, which is an AoE in front of your character, essentially a dark sphere full of damage, and then that sphere afterwards also launches a ball each, I believe 2 balls per cast, 2 shadowy balls, very small hitbox that pierce an infinite number of enemies and deal range damage, like so. It's very versatile. We can use it for melee, for range, for both, for DPS, for baiting enemies in. It's just very nice. I love it. It is insanely strong and it really goes well with the build. For our dash, we'll be using Entangling Vines to keep our enemies asphyxiated for as long as possible. Maybe drag them into pits or back into the cell, if you catch my drift. My favorite dash in the entirety of the game, an earthen, viney dash, pulling in enemies towards the character model, dealing a hefty chunk in the process. You can easily drag enemies into pits, climb them up. It's fantastic, it has a great range on it, and the upgrade will go ahead and root in poison enemies to just keep them asphyxiated for much longer, so we can contain them, I suppose. Looks like so. Combos very well with pretty much any basic arcana in this game, because we can then go ahead and group up all of our enemies and start bashing them down all at once with our piercing basic arcana. It's very sweet. Look at that damage too. Was that 117 I just saw? Ridiculous. Anyway, fantastic. Love getting the upgrade in this build anyway, because it is on par with this theme, and rooting and poisoning enemies is not exactly a bad thing for this build, because we don't intend to move enemies around a bunch. We just want to kill them straight up with all these massive amounts of damage that we are piling and piling up over the course of a run. But we will get to that in a second. For our standard, of course, we got Water Prison to incarcerate our foes forever. Throw them into a cell to rot away forever. We love it. Death and decay, right? It's all about it. Water Prison is a 2-charge ability, which I have never used before, but I really like. I really like a lot. I think in Boss Rush, especially, this is fantastic into bosses, ever since I learned a certain thing about it. So, you lob this projectile a very slow-moving bubble of water, which then expands on hitting an enemy, encases them, and makes them continuously take damage, kind of similarly to the poison debuff. I believe it also blocks projectiles that they try to shoot. I'm not sure about that right now. It easily cancels out their attacks though, and here is the kicker. This is stackable on an enemy. I can lob multiple versions of this at the same enemy, and they will all be ticking down individually. Look at that. Very nice. I abused the shit out of this in boss rush, just stacking up damage, and then kept spamming this at bosses, and my god, is this strong. It has a very short cooldown, it has 2 charges, so it is again easily enhanceable by cooldown reduction, by extra charges, and by damage, even by crit chance. This deals very good damage, as you can tell, 19 on impact and then 7 per tick. Very much on par with this theme, as all of these abilities deal a very hefty chunk of 10 plus damage each, usually around 20 damage per ability cast, I'd say, maybe on average, and this is totally on par. I love it. It is on par with the theme. It works very well, and my god, I can't stress this enough. This is awesome. It's fun to play with in boss rush. In Chaos Trials, this is going to be a lot worse. It is only single target damage. This can hit groups of enemies. This doesn't deal AoE damage, or if an enemy outside of that bubble touches the bubble, they don't get encased or take damage or something. Nothing like it. It's just a single target debuff, essentially. So very weak for Chaos Trials, but let's see how we can make this work. We got Entangling Vines and our basic. So dash and basic in order to crowd control enemies to the best of our abilities, which should be enough. Honestly, these two by themselves are so powerful, and Water Prison is just going to be helpful into mini bosses, into bosses like the Summoner, the Thief, the Rogue, whichever you want to call him, the Knights, the Lances, and so on. This is going to be very, very fun to use. And then finally, to finish it all off, we got our signature, the Radiant Beat, where in this name is not really a pun. Okay, there's no theme here. Radiant Beat sounds more like Lucio from Overwatch or something, right? This doesn't even, the name isn't even really related to what the ability does. So, bit of a given there, we kind of have to ignore that name. But this is essentially a sword jab, which also encases the enemy in a bunch of swords. This is, again, single target damage, similar to the Water Prison, but it also does damage around the water bubble, essentially, like so. It is very fast, it deals good damage, it ticks down very fast. It's a super, super fun crowd control tool, honestly, and when you have large damage numbers, this is also very strong on bosses. This has a very short cooldown and a very short duration to use. So you can just spam these out, since this is also a charge-based Arcana, by default on 2 charges, ticking down very fast as well. So if you find this one, the Ring of Reserves, and you should absolutely consider taking it. That's a massive damage increase, since we can just do something like this. These are a bit slower and they take a while to tick down, and then in the meantime everything else will be coming back up. Now just look at the damage we dealt right there. About 400. And of course you can use a charged version of this as well, which is much larger, like so, and deals an insane amount of damage. Our enemies will be encased by bubbles and swords and then executed at the snap of a finger. I absolutely love this. Oof. I don't think there's really anything else to be said here, so I'd say let's get into the specifics, shall we? In terms of the intended build playstyle, we want to be, I'd say, very aggressive. Fairly aggressive. We got Entangling Vines and Chaos Crusher. These two should be enough to deal with a lot of situations. And then when we need help with crowd control, we got our signature, 2 charges in fact. And when we need help with very annoying single targets, like maybe an elite, or rather an elemental summoner or a mage or something, we got a Water Prison. In order to disarm thieves or rogues, for example, in order to disarm rangers, we got the Water Prison. Into signature, for example, we can poke at them from afar using Chaos Crusher, and so yeah, we shouldn't really have a worry in the world here with this build in terms of how we approach it, in terms of how we want to play it. You can be as aggressive as you want, you can be rather defensive, you can be slow, you can be fast, whatever. Everything should work. You just gotta be careful and adjust depending on how you are playing. Since you only start out on 300 HP, I'm gonna leave it at that. Potential problems? I don't really see any. We got everything. We got a bit of everything. That's part of the reason why we're using Chaos Crusher here. It gives us just so much versatility to the rest of our build, but pretty much all of our abilities are fantastic and they work with each other so well. It's an action combo, crowd control, boss kill build. It does a little bit of everything, and all of those things it does fantastically, in my opinion. If you want to have slightly better results, I recommend exchanging Water Prison for something much less on par, something like an Explosive Fireball or a Claymore or Jump or something of that nature, since Water Prison does sort of low damage compared to what a standard could be doing. Same for the signature, honestly, but that's not what it's all about. It's about the theme, and it's about just how this build feels, because that's how I assembled it. I didn't assemble this with the goal in mind of making a bit of a prisoner, a prison guard theme. No, I made a build with Arcana that I've never used before, tried to find an item, a robe, and so on, and like synergy in between those Arcana. And this is the outcome of that. And then finally, for our section, recommended items and Arcana. In terms of Arcana, it's anything, but I recommend things that are not too complicated, since you already have to manage a lot of charges here. So again, Explosive Fireball, jumps, any sorts of dodges, or maybe enhancements even, like basic attack enhancement or dash enhancements, cooldown reduction. Those are all welcome. We like those. Scales of Babylon, for example, Tearing Whirlwind, other jumps, Permafrost Bulwark, or basic attack enhancements such as Fueled Berserk are very welcome. In terms of items, we want any and all damage items we can get, especially Double Trouble. This is a very risky run. We might just die. We might die very quickly. But we are playing this at the cost. Okay, at the cost of... We are a glass cannon. We can destroy any and everything, but also we can be destroyed in mere seconds, in mere split seconds. This is gonna be a fairly tough Sura fight, I feel, if we even get there. I'm kind of afraid of Shu, I'm kind of afraid of maybe Thunder Twins or Freya, that they might just devastate us, but we shall see what's gonna happen here. I'm really looking forward to potentially finding Double Trouble or other major damage increases. We don't want to pick up something like Stylus. Our signature is fairly important, fairly strong in this build. The signature, I would say, in fact, does by far the greatest chunk of damage in this build, and technically, you might say it's not comparable to something like an Exploding Fireball, but it is. It absolutely is. It hits many times. You can't imagine how often this hits, how strong this is. This is one of the strongest signatures I have ever played with, damage-wise, in Boss Rush. Now here we're not going to be able to pick our items too well. We gotta be very picky here with what we pick, but in terms of damage increases, there are no limits. Even basic attack, candies for example, and gloves are fine if we don't find anything better. Even stones are fine, I'd say, because we really only care about raw damage. We don't care about CCing our enemies, we want to see them dead. And that about concludes it all. Let's get our money here. Do we want to dodge someone? I kind of want to fight Atlas this run. I feel like it's been a while. Let's take a look. Hey, we get him right away. That's cool. Love it. Atlas, Shu, and Thunder Twins. Probably my least favorite dungeons in the game. In order? Not really. I easily hate Shu the most. Line Shark Agent. Okay, that's a fairly weak drop from a chest. I was expecting something much better. Look at that. Now, since the Water Prison does a very good chunk of damage on impact, I can use it to execute enemies frequently, and I will absolutely be doing that every once in a while. Especially this early on. Love the Entangling Vines upgrade. I won't be getting that right away. Maybe I will. You know what? Maybe I will. Now, I think I want to optimize this run, at least a little bit. Try and get as much stuff as I can possibly get a hold of. And that means I need to try and get all the money that I can find. I'm not sure that's gonna be lethal. I would expect him to die, since mages generally do not have the greatest HP pools. Since this is a Chaos Arcana, like most, if not all Chaos Arcana, this is capable of easily destroying projectiles. Any projectiles touched. Isn't that fucking sweet? We get, oh my god, these are nutty. Spice Rack, that's really good. That is really good. Let's get, oh dude, let's get these two right away. Then we will also buy the Entangling Vines upgrade straight up. And then we could come back for the Destructive Abacus or the Sleepy Thunderstone. I really like Thunderstone. I think Thunderstone would go very well with this build. One thing I didn't mention is that Water Prison keeps enemies locked in place, similarly to a root, except you can't even move them. They are completely stuck in place. You can just unload on them. Oh, that sound was very satisfying. Come on, I missed it by like half a second. Water Prison also has a fairly large hitbox. It is quite difficult missing this, even though it's a fairly slow-moving projectile. Now, what I also forgot mentioning is that the Water Prison upgrade gains an extra charge and increases the prison's speed. So that isn't exactly super important to us. I guess I was super excited. It's usually when I tend to forget things. Robe upgrade for Venture Robe is okay-ish. Nothing wild. Just a minor increase of damage overall. Do we get the Thunderstone instead? I don't think I need that much cooldown reduction, and I don't care much for the run speed or the 5% damage increase, so I am gonna fetch the... what's it called? Sleepy Thunderstone? Sleepy Thunderstone, yeah. Look at that. Just keep spamming those bubbles. Curse Eater's Vest. And we have 69 coins. Sweet. Not enough for a robe upgrade. But enough to land a good joke, huh? Good. Ain't nothing better than a good innuendo, am I right? 69, isn't that funny? Alright, let's see. It's not a mimic. Good news. Oh shit, I didn't even see them. Fuck you, dude. Welcome to the Shadow Realm. Wondrous mechanism is insane. Love it. Very, very good. Okay, just let them decipher, or rather diffuse the situation. Since I couldn't exactly see where those tree folk were, would have been quite risky just heading for them, straight up. Coming for their asses. I hate when they just seem to delay it so long. Is it just on first floor that they are so unbearably slow? I always somehow manage to fuck that up. That's okay. Don't get much. My HP pool says, ain't no reason to worry, child. Look at that sweet, sweet damage. Might start. We still got it off. Not on the proper enemy, but that's okay. Sweet. Spice rank is definitely fantastic so far. Allows us to just keep spamming bubbles and swords. Swords into bubbles, bubbles into swords. Bolt Claymore. That would be awesome for baiting, but I'm not sure I want to buy that straight up. I don't think I need to. Seem to be doing very fine. Interesting room, just seeing the torches from the other side. Okay, Bouncy, this does proc on Chaos Arcana. That'd be quite a bunch of gold. There's just absolutely no guarantee that we can reliably proc this. I prefer to play very aggressively, so this typically isn't really an option. Love the Helm, love the Carrot Cake. I think Carrot Cake could be fantastic. That's 225. We could do that. Sure. And then we could sell the Arcana upgrade thing. Sorry. The Arcana rewards card. Which hasn't exactly done us any good so far. Where's my money? Did I get the money? Oh well, that took... Wow, that took a long ass time. That just flew across the entire map, huh? Alright, get 100% for the potential. That's all we care for. And then just move on, huh? Love the Carrot Cake, because, I mean, 100 extra HP, can you really say no? I wouldn't decline that. I think that's insanely helpful. Arcana rewards card, I don't really see myself using too much here. We already got everything upgraded, which is nice. But most importantly, I feel like I already have very strong damage. And I feel like it's gonna be a very strong run damage-wise. Well, I forgot using the bounty, but that's okay. That was very satisfying to watch. Just gotta keep in mind to make that work on Shu. Bouncing Surge. That's insane against Sora. Love that. I should try and be hit as much as possible as early on as possible. So, man, I am not playing very strategically right now, huh? That's okay. The more I'm hit, the more stacks I will receive of the sweet, sweet Carrot Cake. I am considering doing the boss first, since I might be getting something that benefits from finding early on, like a gem finder. more importantly, Midas item. Wow, dead already, huh? But let's not do that. Let's just go for our instinct and have some fun here, raiding the floor. No tornadoes today. Fuck you, dude. You stay over there. Rooted and all. I love this. Okay, interesting. Crocodile hide, Hardrender's amulet, and a strongman's hammer. That'd be a lot of damage, my friend. I am not a fan of increasing my cooldowns, though. Even though it wouldn't punish us too hard. We are on 2-1 already. Is this still gonna be worthwhile? Not sure. I think I should take it. Either now or leave it forever. To make it worth picking up. I do want to have it, though. It's a great source of extra damage. Can we really say no to that? Fucked up there, just a little bit. And then I missed the Cyclops as well. God damn it. Bye, Mimic. I missed the fucking Cyclops. When trying to dash out, I was trying to hit all the Cyclopses because I wasn't sure whether I had killed them. Look at that range, man. The range and the dash there is fantastic. Keep shooting the balls into walls. Wow, 3 paintings in a row. On portraits? Are they paintings or portraits? I think portraits, right? Bye, honey. See you on the other side. Asphyxiation. It's the name of the game, and probably our king. Abuse is probably the second. Considering what we did with the knight there. Oh my god, just appears in front of you. Holy shit. That scared the shit out of me. I mean, I was kind of expecting that, lobbing those projectiles at him, but at the same time, in the same breath, dude, that scared the shit out of me. Okay, a bit more crit chance, a bit more healing. And then the pen, which we can't really use. Jades does only give us healing and armor. I love armor, it's definitely gonna come in handy with stacking the cake and with just remaining alive generally, so... yeah, I think this is fair game to pick up. I should probably also pick up the Assassin's Blade. I feel like this would be insane. If we found the Shark Mask... Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Okay. Just gotta make sure that the thief dies. Yeah, bye-bye, dude. A wisp. Oh, shit, I definitely should have... My god, I keep forgetting to stack the cake. I should have just thrown myself into a pit a bunch of times. Due to all of the gem healing that I just missed. Since the game does collect gems automatically, as long as you're close to them. When I open the chest, it always pops into a bunch of gems, so... I missed a lot of healing. Another great opportunity to stack my cake, which is currently at 0. Jesus. I need to be hit. But she was definitely gonna take care of that. I'm not sure he's gonna hit me for 100 times. I don't exactly can tank that much, but... We'll see, we'll see. Typically, I get hit a lot. By all the wins. Right, maybe I can tank these? Yeah, 5 damage each. I can absolutely tank this. Look, up to 35 already. Just get hit a bunch of times. A lot of small hits that don't get you killed. That's key. I think that's enough. I need more than 100 HP, otherwise I might just be one-shot by a hard-hitting enemy. Sweet. I love suspending enemies. It's such a great feeling. I'm just so dominant. I can't help it. Hello? I don't exactly want to take that trait. Instead, I would much prefer training at Dr. Song's. Okay. Oh shit, he tricked me! Interesting that the swords keep up, even though the enemy was dead. Out of sight is out of mind, huh? Just pop all this crap. I want some healing orbs. Hello, Iris. You got nothing for me. Nothing interesting, anyway. So much damage. It almost feels like a disarm when I water prison someone and then they're just permanently suspended, unable to do anything. Caught full of excitement. Oh no, I missed something way up there. I'm just now realizing that. Oh well. Flawed item, that is really good. Love to see that. I don't think we're gonna be able to take it, considering we get an item here. Okay, we can take it. Great news. Also love the memory chainmail. That's a really strong defensive item. Could get rid of the sprite for that. I do like that. Thank you. More defense, the merrier, huh? The more defense, the more I can stack my cake. And the less I have to worry about things escalating. Hi, Shu. Oh, well, don't gotta be afraid, I got the memory chainmail. And not only that, did my cake stack? Oh, 75 is the maximum. I was kind of confused on that since I recently found a dependable cake and I could stack it all the way up to 100, so apparently that is what dependable cake allows for. That's probably why it resets your stacks on pickup. Man, so many obstacles in a row, I love it. Not the greatest cursed items, and I fucked up the bounty hunters again. It's a bit of an insight at this point. Whenever I find this, I always fuck up using it. It's just so much more exciting killing enemies in creative ways and, like, powerful ways over bursting them down with my basic, or finishing them off, rather. I mean, you did see it with Shu. It was just a lot more exciting than had I just, you know, basic to finish off 10 HP boss. It's a lot more exciting finishing. My God, I can't talk right. It's a lot more exciting, not only finishing them, but setting up and finishing them very, very quickly. Just dealing thousands and thousands of damage to them at once is so much more fun. Conversely, we would have to sort of adopt a playstyle here in order to get rid of the bounty hunters. I don't think that's realistic at all. I think we should just toss it. Especially considering how late into into the run it is currently, and how long we'd have to go with the bounty hunters in our inventory. I find it very unlikely that we're gonna be keeping this. In fact, I'm probably gonna toss it for the Paramassacon. Para is pretty damn insane on this build. We already deal a shitload of damage, just an absolute boatload. And we should capitalize on that as much as we possibly can. Para is definitely going to help a lot into bosses. It's going to help with a problem that doesn't exactly exist right now, which is a lack of damage into bosses. Now, memory chainmail is also a candidate for exclusion here in the future, or substitution rather, since it is quite bad into Sora, in my opinion anyway. Oh my god, I didn't even mean to go in there, but that panned out pretty well. So nothing of interest in here, except maybe the Puffy Parka. We don't have any other canvas parts, so Breezy Grey isn't gonna do much. I do want to keep the cake, due to my HP count being innately low. Just gonna keep using my basic here to get rid of the arrows. I still gotta work on a handful of things, such as my crit chance. I'm not happy with it currently. It's only okay as is. It's definitely not satisfying. I have a lot of potential carrying around with me, such as the Bounty Hunter Seal, which I can't really use. I don't really have a use for this anymore. 250 gold, cool, but currently that is so far away. Puffy Parka is much closer and is much, much stronger. Let's see, what's in here again? What does he offer? Para is pretty much a must pick at this point. I will toss the Bounty Hunters any day. Maybe we find an adorable mimic. That would actually be quite nutty. Callies, we kind of got to keep. And then we have a lot of defensive options. Thunderstone we could also get rid of. It is technically worth a lot less than Bounty Hunters. I don't really know why I am starting to stutter again. Maybe it's just that time of the day again. But I do feel that it's kind of bad right now. Alright. Oh. No items again, which makes our decision a lot easier. I think I'm gonna leave behind the stone then. Because the stone is, damage-wise, not super strong. And money-wise, it's not nearly as strong as a Bounty Hunter Seal. I definitely need the para here. And other than that, I'm not really feeling the Breezy Grey. I am absolutely feeling the Puffy. I don't think we want to rely on evasion here or getting death. Talking is hard. Dash resets, not death resets. Thank you, brain. Instead, Puffy Parka would be a lot more reliable with the current defensive theme that we got going, with the Chakras Locket, the Carrot Cake, the Dider, Memory Chainmail, and the Curse Eater Vest. It would be a lot more in line with our build. I'm not sure what to do here. We have a lot of HP. Do we need anti-crit chance? What would I get rid of? Probably the Bounty Hunters. Well, you know, I'm actually gonna do that. Here's why. Since I haven't found a supply crate so far, I don't think having an X's in money is gonna be super helpful Even though we still got 2 shops coming up, being this one, or the one of the floor that is currently loading, and the floor of the Sura stage, so to speak. So even having considered those things, I don't think an excess in money is going to be particularly helpful. We already sort of have an excess in money. We are full on items, and we are completely full on money. We got enough for at least one major item, like a limited edition robe, for example. We don't really have anything to do with it. I would absolutely consider that an excess in money. A surplus that we can't really do anything with. We can't invest it anywhere, not even into healing potions. So we don't technically need any. We are quite low on HP. On max HP, that is. So healing pods are not super valuable. I'm honestly better off just not using them, period. Yeah, good example. Dr. Song coming up right when we asked for her the least. We really don't need healing potions. Dr. Song, which I was expecting to find to either Dr. Song or Pinata, is definitely gonna carry us to victory. Now, she is gonna give us another item, however, which I find a little disturbing, because then I'm gonna have to commit to another decision. Even though the decision is usually quite an easy one, since she usually gives you healing-related stuff, and rarely, very rarely, when the stars align, you get really, really lucky. She gives you damage-related items, but only conditional stuff like crit chance, or if you're full on HP, have a lot more damage. Oh, that's a lot of chests in one room. And Dr. Song is already useless again. Oh, this is not a fight room. I was mistaken. I was confusing this for another room. I love Photo Prison. It's so good. I'm gonna step back just a little bit on my summon to weaken them so I can finish them off instead of trying to play dangerous games with them. Dark Katana is really nice because it works for Chaos Crusher, it works for... it doesn't work for Vines actually, but it works for Chaos Crusher and Radiant Beat, which is lovely. Relic Rewards card, can't really use that any longer, we don't really care much for that. But the Dark Katana is definitely a pickup worth consideration, since our most important Arcana by far is our signature, and if we want to enhance its damage, Dark Katana is pretty much as good as getting a Shark Mask. Okay, we get an upgrade on the Ball Lightning, which is sweet, though I don't really care much. Yeah, Dark Katana is really, really good. I'm probably gonna get rid of the memory chainmail, but I don't know for sure just yet. Just do that little reverse push there. It's not exactly a pull, I don't know how that works, but I know it does, so might as well abuse it. Okay. Bit of a weird floor with a lot of holes, as you can tell. Lots of grey areas in here. We are missing 2%. I don't think there's anything in that room though. Doesn't look like fight room. Yeah, it's just a dead end. which is fine. Man, what do we do? I kind of really just want Katana. Other than Katana, I could probably... So, other than Chainmail, I could probably also get rid of the Curse Eater's Vest, even though that's a lot of extra max health. 30 max health, and a little bit of armor, just a tiny, tiny bit. Which I still consider worth it. Considering that we really, really like keeping the health here, and the armor is just an additional bonus. I love to see that. And again, no item from that crate, which is okay, I believe. Let's head to Dr. Song's. See what we get. Okay, we get the useless one that heals us. On the stage transition. We could grab another element. Do we have another element? We do. We have wind, which we haven't gotten anything of yet, which increases our damage slightly due to the captain's ring. Anything else? This is another painting part. God damn it, man. Ah, my heart is bleeding yet again, but we gotta leave behind the memory chainmail. For the sake of potential. And for the sake of, well, it doesn't stack, unlike Curse Eater's Vest, so fuck that. Alright, let's take a good look. Nice. Nice and clean. That's pretty damn good. Twin turbines in order to destroy a lot of projectiles, I suppose. Even though it's not super strong into Sora, it's still pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Do you know anyone pronouncing damn as dom? Kinda like it. Sometimes. Only sometimes, alright? I'm not always this weird. Pretty damn weird. How did that hit me? That felt like a scam. Thank you for all the healing. Much appreciated. And then we find Mayada's dagger and slightly more damage with the amulet. That's sweet. Do we take the damage? Maybe over the spice rack? I don't really feel like doing that. Midas isn't too great of a damage increase at this point. I do like getting rid of the Curse Eater's Vest. At the... I do like trading this for the amulet. I think that's worth. And then might as well... Do we have any in here? We have wind, water, fire. Alright. Might as well fetch this for slightly more damage on the captain's ring. And there we go. Let's fucking go, my friend. Interesting, the prison gets reset on him? I didn't know that. Come on. Come on, you. Sweet, sweet water prison. This fight is a lot more entertaining in boss rush, to be honest. He just melted. Thanks to the Paranomassacron and the Strongman's Hammer for a 50% damage increase. That was sweet. My favorite way to play this personally is not all damage, it's all signature charge and then pumping a lot of crit chance into the swords. Like I attempted here, but I didn't get too lucky on this. And I feel like I didn't get to see an Assassin's Blade proc per se. I love combining this with Dark Katana, with the, is it Mystic Monocle? 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 I think it's Monocle. The 8% crit chance to everything item. The Assassin's Blade, and finally the die of the Nemesis. Is it die? No, it's dice. It's plural. It's the dice of the Nemesis, right? I love playing for crit build and then grabbing a bunch of signature charge related items like the Wondrous Mechanism and the painting part, the lightning painting part. I can't remember the name. The fire painting part is also fantastic with this. Just everything that increases the potential of this is very, very fun. But yeah, raw damage works very well as well. It's just not as fancy. That was pretty successful though. Let's just drop everything. Leave these boys behind. We still had a proc of our lovely crown as well. Well, that would have been quite an easy fight either way. With that other way, I'm kind of sad here that this run went over so quickly. I was expecting no different from this build. It's just super strong and we got all of these great damage items and defense on top of that. So yeah, they never stood a chance in the first place. To the prison guard, right? Actually, let's pick these back up. It looks kind of messy in here. Can we drop these behind the trees? I've never tried that. No, they just start flying right through. That's interesting. Alright, so they behave similarly to walls, except they are destroyable. Either way, thank you very much for watching, dear viewer. And as per usual, wherever you are, I wish you all a good morning, a good day, or a good night. And I'ma say, until next time, bye bye.